Hey, welcome back everybody. I'm going to be doing something a little bit different today. Instead of posting some straight up gameplay, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with this game since we are getting very close to release date. September 29th, for those of you who do not know, will be the full launch across PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. So there's a lot of stuff that's being talked about right now as far as current bugs that are known or unknown or have been addressed by the developers already. So there's quite a few of them and some pretty significant stuff that they've already acknowledged is being looked at and addressed and fixed. So if there's anything that you do have a question about, please drop it down in the comments and I'll respond to it the best I can. So without any further ado, we'll get into what's going on with the game. So some of the biggest changes that we know are coming for certain have been addressed by the developers and are, we know for a fact, are currently being reworked, and even got a little sneak peek of some of the development of that with some of the recent trailers, and I'll be sure to add that clip up here in just a minute. But some of the biggest things are going to be fitness and trophy systems are being reworked, reevaluated. If you've played the game already, you know they're quite good. Some animals you can get 5 stars on fairly easy. I've killed probably an unhealthy amount of 5-star doll sheep. They're very easy to get 5-star. Same with kudu. The kudu will get 5 stars pretty quickly and pretty easy. Now, if you go back and look at animals like the elk, um, I've had several like 90-95% fitness animals, elk specifically, that were max age on their very last day of life before they died out and respawned as a young animal. 95% or better fitness for 3 stars, 4 stars, and so on that are just not working right. Another one the grizzly bears. I've killed for sure 200% fitness grizzly bears at maximum age, 30 years old, and no luck. They were like a 2-star animal, 3-star animal. But it's not an isolated deal. There's plenty of people who have experienced this, and the developers are aware of it, and they have publicly stated through Discord that they are being reworked and should be fixed. Hopefully on the next update. I'm hoping we get a big update either later this week or maybe next week. So we'll see, but for sure they said they will be fixed before the full 1.0 launch on September 29th. The other part of that we know is coming is going to be a couple of antler reworks along with the fitness and trophy system changes. Specifically, we know for certain the whitetail will be getting relooked at, as well as the elk. Actually, in one of the recent trailers, I don't remember if it was the full launch trailer or if it was the update 4, but they did show an updated sneak peek at what the elk look like now. That's not currently in the game, but it's the model that's going to be used, I'm assuming, at the full launch, if we don't get it sooner. And it looks, I'll say it looks very, very, very better. It's right now the elk horns kind of sweep down too low across their back, and with the updated version they showed us, they're more vertical and they look a lot more realistic and a lot more in line with how they looked on Way of the Hunter 1, just physically larger, so to say. The whitetail as well. The whitetail, the models, the 2-star, 3-star, even the 4-star models don't look bad. But if you get a 5-star whitetail, they look absolutely horrendous. Their horns sweep upwards, and it's just not a very good model that they use for the 5-star racks. So they're supposed to be updating them, reworking them, looking back in it. And actually, they are currently asking for community feedback on that right now. So if you've got anything you want to add, or anything you are an opinion that you have on the whitetail rack, if you can go over to their Discord, if you have it, in the feedback section, they do have a place where you can give feedback for whitetail antlers. Or if you don't, on the Steam page, you can go to the Steam community website, and they have a feedback there where you can reply with, anything that you have to say about the whitetail. And they are listening to it, and they are reading this stuff daily. So they're working on it. They know it's there, and they know it's got a problem, so they're gonna take care of it. The next thing that we know is coming is going to be non-typicals. The only thing I've seen for certain that we're getting non-typical is mule deer. I would assume whitetails are probably going to come in there too, possibly elk and moose. But the only thing confirmed that they've actually showed a non-typical rack is mule deer, and I'll be sure to put that up here on the screen too, so y'all can see it. And it does look good. It's pretty. I don't want to say it's too out there, but it is pretty gnarly looking rack. So hopefully we get more variations of it as well, not just that one rack. But even the one that they have, it does look good. I think it'll be a pretty sought after prize by a lot of people. Hopefully it doesn't turn into like a great one grind like people do on Call of the Wild, but it's a good looking rack, and hopefully it's not super common but not overly hard to get where you're killing 1,000 animals to get it like Call of the Wild does, where it just basically turns into a slaughter fest and it kind of takes the fun out of the game. The next little bit of information that they've given us of what's being worked on, and they've actually been telling us this from the very beginning, is the animal AI is going to continue to be refined throughout the entire early access period, and I'm sure they'll continue to work on it even after that. But if you play the game within the first couple weeks or so, maybe even the first month of early access, you'll have seen how far the changes have come. Those first few weeks, we were getting whole entire herds of animals that were completely frozen in place. You could just walk up to them and pretty much slaughter the entire herd. And then after that, you get mixed herds. You would have, a whole herd of bison, elk, mule deer, whitetail, wolves, all kind of roaming around together. And then even if you did shoot them, they wouldn't run very far. They would spook a little bit, but you could still take out the entire herd fairly easy. And from there, now we've got actual decent populations of animals that do behave and respond realistically. The latest changes that they've given us have been the duck AI. If y'all saw my duck video, the duck AI has drastically improved. It's gotten much better, and there is still room to work on them. They do still need some improvement, but the overall status of the ducks is much better. They do behave like ducks now. They will fly around, they'll glide into the decoys, they'll come in and land, versus before they would kind of just fly straight at you and nose dive down, skim the water, and keep on flying. And that wasn't very fun. I mean, you could tell they were set up to go the right direction, but this last update 4 definitely solidified that these developers are competent and they are getting stuff done, and they very do much have the potential to make a very great game out of this. The update 4 also included the herd population size changes, where if you've seen the herd statuses, like when you open your map, it says vulnerable, stable, healthy, and thriving on there, and the latest update added in that also affects not only the herd fitness but the herd size. So if you have a vulnerable herd, you may only have 2 or 3 animals in there, but if you can eventually manage them up into a healthy or even a thriving status, supposedly that herd's supposed to get much bigger, which is very cool, very realistic, and it also adds in another layer of herd management that people like. It gives you purpose, gives you something to do. And I think this is kind of what sets it apart from not necessarily an arcade style game, but also not a hardcore simulator either. It's kind of a somewhere in the middle. A hardcore simulator is not for everybody. Nobody wants to go in and do 2 or 3 hours of hunting to not kill anything. But also nobody wants to, or not everybody wants to go in and just slaughter everything they see. It kind of gives a purpose into, well, maybe we should shoot this one, maybe we shouldn't. At least for big game, it's for small game like ducks and rabbits and stuff like that. I can't speak for everybody, but I'm gonna shoot everything I see. So, like I said, they said that from the very beginning that AI is going to continue to be refined throughout the early access, and I have no doubt that will continue even further on beyond that. And this leads into the next little section here about improvements to the game is new animals. We know there's at least 2 more new species to come. I read somewhere, maybe in a comment on Reddit or Discord possibly, about somebody saw a bobcat mentioned somewhere, either in a mission story or in the encyclopedia or something like that. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if we see bobcat. I know coyotes were another popular animal that people were interested in seeing on the new Laurentia map. But there's really not too much they can add to there now. Maybe a couple things. Then you start getting into repeats, and I think a lot of people are more interested in getting new species than repeats from the last game. I saw stone sheep mentioned quite often, being another sheep that could be added to that map. But beyond that, I don't think you can really add too much without getting a repeat. Stone sheep, bobcats, coyotes, mountain lions, black bears, maybe some other bird species, maybe pheasants or quail, chucker. Right now we've got ducks and ptarmigan. That's about it. So we'll see if they add anything else. Maybe in the future, but we know at least before launch there's supposed to be 2 more species. I'm not sure if they're going to be on that map or the Killamaya map. On there's an endless possibility of animals they can add. So let's see if they do get added in the future. That would be great. I know personally I really want to see sable in this game. I've mentioned it several times. Sable would be awesome. I don't think they've ever been done in a hunting game before. And they're beautiful animals, so we'll see. A few other minor but notable things we know are coming for certain are going to be dog improvements. The dog even being in the game to begin with is huge. For people like me that are colorblind, the blood in this game is a lot more difficult to track than it was in the first game. In Way the Hunter 1, you could use a hunter assist and it would make a glowing trail, and it made the blood trails easier to follow. In this game, Way the Hunter 2, that does not exist, at least not yet. It gives you like a little blood drop marker over the top of the blood trail, and it's very hard for me to see. So if I have to trail an animal that I don't see go down, I almost have to use the dog. So they've already stated for sure that we are going to get further advanced dog training. We don't know if it's going to be better tracking, different maybe interactions, or something we haven't even thought about yet. Maybe fetching. That would be cool. Although for duck hunting, I don't see it working out too well, just because the way the ducks come to you whenever you shoot them over the water, they zip back to you at light speed, unless that gets changed. But having a retrieve function would be pretty neat. It'd be cool if we even got different dog breeds. They haven't said that, but maybe down the road that'll be something that gets added. That would be interesting to see. Right now we got a bloodhound. It'd be cool to see like maybe a Labrador retriever or some kind of pointer or something like that. But no, that has not been specifically mentioned. Only the advanced training has been talked about. The other little minor but notable detail that a lot of people have asked for, and like I said, it's a minor thing, but that would be player outfits, possibly further customization. They have not specifically said there will be player specific customization, but we do know at least you'll be able to change at least like the coats and stuff like that, and they have even showed a preview of it, and I'll put that here up on the screen so you can see it. It's a different looking camo, but I would assume it's probably not going to be the only one. Hopefully it'll be quite a vast selection to look through. And on that note, that kind of leads me into talking about other stuff that we would really like to see. If you watch some of my other videos, you would know I really enjoy bow hunting. Bow hunting on this game is Way the Hunter 1 and even Way the Hunter 2. Bow hunting is a lot of fun, and I would like to see a further improvements as far as gears. Like maybe we could get other bows, different sights, arrows. I think we will be getting at least different broadheads in the ammo change coming up here soon. But we would like to see tree stands. I know tree stands have been pretty popular. A lot of people have been asking for tree stands, pop-up bow blinds. A decoy would be cool. The scents that are in the game right now, they apply to your person. So when the animals that's attracted to them, they come straight at you. And I think that needs to be changed. I think it would be better suited if they were placeable. If you could spray like a doe attractant scent on a tree or on a rock or something like that, that would give you the opportunity to back away from it, kind of get away from the downwind of it, and then set up to where you can get a good broadside shot as the animal's attracted to it. That's not in the game yet, but hopefully they change it to where it will be, because as of now, if you spray the scent, you spray it on your body and the animals come straight at you. It still works out and you can still get a good shot, but it doesn't give you that true broadside feeling that a lot of people like. So we'll see what they do. Hopefully, you know, this is all stuff that's just being talked about for no reason and they've already got plans for all this stuff. But yeah, it'd be great, and I think a lot of people would be happy with more gear. I don't think anybody's going to be upset about having more gear, especially with the branded partners that Nine Rocks Gaming has got with this new game here. So that would be great to see some of this stuff added in. The next biggest change that we've already seen that came with some sneak peeks of stuff to come is the new hub lodge. The new hub lodge is fully expandable and it is great. It is absolutely massive. It's going to take, if you were to target only 5-star animals, or I'm sorry, if you were to only target mounting taxidermy 5-star animals, it's going to take you a while. There's tons and tons of space. That said, there's also tons of space that feels like it's being wasted. There's a lot of wall space that could be used. There's a lot of floor space that could still be used to really add to the trophies you can have inside there. But that's not to mention the maps have their own space of themselves to add animals. So like New Laurentia's got, I think maybe 3 or 4 cabins. It's got the big main cabin, and then if there's 4 other smaller ones where you can still add animals to them if you wanted to. But those will be map specific, whereas the new hub lodge is anything you want from any map in the game, currently or in the future. So it's nice to have. And with that map came a new shooting range. The shooting range is very nice, but one of the details that got noticed pretty quickly when you're walking up to the shooting range, there's a sign that says rifle and pistol shooting. Does that mean we're going to get pistols in the future? Who knows? But that would be great. A pistol would be very handy, especially whenever they change some upgraded aggression mechanics with stuff like the grizzly bears for sure will be getting aggressive. I don't know about the wolves, but if the wolves ever do get aggressive, that would be neat to have too. Something that you could defend yourself with quickly. The rifles work good, but if you got a big scope on there, it's hard to kill a charging animal with a big scope on it, and being able to switch to a sidearm quickly with the stopping power to actually do something would be fantastic to see. So we'll see if that gets added in. Also with the trophy lodge, with the trailer they showed recently, it looks like some of the mounts are going to change. Currently, the floor mounts look good. Some of them are a little wonky right now. I think they've already stated that some of them are backwards and facing the wrong direction, and that's going to get fixed. But the wall mounts, if you've ever looked at them, I'll put one up on the screen of before and after, but on the left side here is a current mount. It's just the neck. They look funky. You just basically see the neck and the head, and the horns are sticking out straight, and it just doesn't look right. With one of these recent trailers, they've showed a preview of it, what looks to be a change and improvement of an actual shoulder mount, the way actual shoulder mounts look in real life. I've got many of these hanging on my wall. They look good. They shoulder mount, head up, horns up, and they look like a solid representation of a mount that you would see in a lodge like this. So we'll see if, I don't know if this is going to come with a full launch or if this is going to come in one of the new updates here soon. So that'll be great to see. So also I want to talk about the experimental branch of what's going on with this game right now. Currently, multiplayer is in the experimental branch where they're trying to get some bugs worked out, connection issues, and stuff like that. But they did mention recently, like I think maybe last week, that it is getting close to being able to leave experimental and come to the standard version of the game where everybody will get to play it. Uh, right now, I mean anybody can play it right now. You just got to switch over to the experimental branch. But they said that that's coming close to an end. But with that same post that they made, they mentioned that ammo changes are coming to experimental, where they're ready to start testing it with real players, which is pretty big. We're kind of missing that right now. A lot of these weapons kind of lack in the power department, so getting some ammo changes with some higher velocity rounds or some higher grain with more knockdown power, it's going to be huge. Because right now there's some guns that are pretty lacking in the knockdown department. Like, for example, the 308. You can shoot a deer at 150 yards with a 308. You might kill it, you might not. Whereas you would think that would be a for sure guaranteed thing, even on a vital hit. So we'll see. I don't know how long that's going to be, if it's going to stay in experimental throughout full launch, or if they're planning on getting ammo changes into experimental and out within the next month. That would be great. That'd be ideal. So the next big question that a lot of people have, and hopefully this will be answered this week, Nine Rocks Games is supposed to be doing a live Q&A, and I'm sure this question will get asked, but is there going to be a reset for the progress that's currently been made? When the EA first came out, they said that they were going to try to avoid it if possible, but they would if it was necessary. But then also another FAQ said it was likely, so it was kind of confusing at first, but the further into this we've gotten, the more I've started to believe that I do believe that it probably will get reset. There's just still too many major changes coming, as far as everything from animal to settings and AI and UI and stuff like that. There's some pretty significant stuff coming, so I would not be surprised one bit if all progress gets reset to day one, so everybody's starting out on brand new maps again. Hopefully not, but I would not be surprised if that does happen. Like I said, they're adding more UI and advanced settings with hopefully with this next update. We'll see it at the very least at full launch. It will be there, but there will be further advanced settings as far as down as hunter sense and HUD customizations, better difficulties. Right now it's just, I think, an easy, medium, hard. And I know a lot of people want that ranger mode, so hopefully that'll get added in very shortly. As far as the settings specifically, I'm not sure what all will get added, but they did say there will be advanced settings coming with the full launch. With that said, what's down the road? They did a survey probably maybe a month or two ago, and in that survey was what would be a new map that people would be interested in seeing. And I think the two most popular responses was, and this, they haven't posted this is just what people have been talking about on Discord and Reddit, but the two most popular maps that people were talking about was an Australian map and an Iberian map, which were both in the survey. So I wouldn't be surprised if those were the two most popular responses that were given. On a map development dev diary they posted maybe a couple weeks ago, they said it takes over or nearly a year or more to develop a full map from research to development. So that's probably going to come a year from now, when they made that decision. So it might be quite a while before we see that. But I do believe there is another map that's already in development that we'll be getting post-launch before that 1 year, something they've been working on for a while now. I'm not sure what it's going to be or when. I would guess maybe around Christmas, hopefully shortly before or after Christmas time, but that's just speculation on my end. That would be great if we got it sooner. There's been no mention of where it could possibly be. But yeah, the Australian or Iberian map will probably be a year out from now, if I had to guess, it'll probably be a second map coming later on. But I think we're going to get something else sooner than that. We'll see. Like I said, it's all speculation, and who knows. Man, this is getting me excited talking about all this. We're getting so close. We're almost a month away. September 29th, for those who didn't catch it at the beginning, is going to be full launch. So they are already doing pre-orders, and pre-orders you can get a deluxe edition. So if you're planning on pre-ordering it, I would go ahead and check that out. It's going to include the Heirloom pack. It's supposed to be several different things. I think I mentioned earlier. If not, it's supposed to be a decorative lodge item. It's going to include a classic rifle and a classic scope with classic engraving on all of it, scope rings, and it's going to also have a modern hunting rifle and scope, I believe. Also, it mentions some kind of decorative fountain for your main hub lodge. I'm not sure what that's going to be. Hopefully we'll get more answers on that with this Q&A that's coming up next week. That was also unclear on if EA players are going to get that pre-order bonus. I'm not sure. We'll see, because technically we couldn't pre-order it. Who knows? Maybe that'll get answered on this Q&A later this week sometime. It includes also a Season 1 pass if you pre-order the Deluxe Edition. It's supposed to have 8 DLCs releasing during the first year after launch. That's quite a bit, but it's unclear what those DLCs are going to be. Is it going to be new maps? Is it going to be new gear, equipment, weapons, combination? Yeah, that part was left unclear. But it does state there will be 8 DLCs included with that Deluxe Edition. So starting to wrap up here, I know this is probably going to be long, but what are my thoughts on the game? I think generally the game's in a pretty good place. I think a lot of people are going to be pretty satisfied with it. Like I said earlier, it's going to fill that gap between a hardcore hunting simulator and an arcade style game. Is it perfect? No. There's still lots of issues, but the development team has proven that they're on top of it. They're communicating, they're listening to feedback, and are willing to change things. The Whitetail antlers are the biggest example. I mean, people have been complaining about them a lot, and they straight up posted a feedback straight on the Discord. It wasn't even through their feedback forums. It was on a public Discord where they're asking for feedback, and there's hundreds of comments on there, and there's some brutally honest people that are basically saying they look like trash, and they do. They don't look good. So I'm excited to see what the rework is going to come. How well they received that feedback and what they did with it. But the foundation of here on the game itself is great. They've got a ton of potential on here, and every update that they're adding is getting absolutely better. It's improving constantly, and I'm pretty excited to see what this game is going to look like down the road, 6 months to a year from now. From what I've read, I didn't play Way of the Hunter 1 when it first launched, but from what I've read other people say that Way of the Hunter 2 is already in a better state than that game was upon official release. So that means we're ahead of the game here, and they're listening and they're learning, and they're taking the feedback and actually doing something with it. So this game could really be something special. This very much has a potential to be the best hunting game that we've got right now. So back to what I said earlier on stuff I would like to see on that note. New unique species, more equipment. Nobody's ever going to be upset about more equipment. Better decoy systems, blinds, tree stands, attractants, all that's got so much potential, and this development team has got a absurd amount of people willing to lend real life experience, real world experience. I'm sure they've got their own development research teams, and I'm sure some of them probably even hunt. I don't think you can make a hunting game without being a hunter yourself entirely, or being associated with it to some extent. So I'm sure they've got their people, but they've also got the public, the gaming community that's playing their game, that does hunt for real, willing to give that feedback that very, very helpful. Some of it may not be practical to implement in a game, but something could definitely be learned from it. Uh, Maps, I would love to see new maps from places we haven't seen before. It's kind of hard because Call of the Wild has got such a broad map database. They've pretty much done everything all over the world. But I would love to see some of those same places implemented into Way of the Hunter 2 and play the play style of this game, where you can see herds grow, management, and see how the animals respond to this style of a hunting game, not a full arcade style. And I don't just want the gear to be just new gear for the sake of having it in the game. I want it to actually be useful and actually have a strategic use in the game, different from what we have now. I want to see stuff that's going to change the way people play, make different hunting styles more effective, like the ammo changes, making long range hunting effective. I tried the other day shooting animals at 500 yards plus with the 338, and it wasn't getting hardly any penetration damage. That's just not practical. We need some higher statistic ammo where that's a practical playstyle. The scents, like I mentioned earlier, for bow hunting would be huge, where you can place the scent and set up on it and have the animals come to it and not directly at you. That would change up tree styles, duck hunting, different decoys, blinds, stuff like that. I want to see stuff that's truly going to change the way this game plays. But yeah, that's where we're at with this game. There's a lot there. There's a lot coming. It's exciting to see what we got. We got just over a month away. September 29th will be here before you know it, and there'll be tons of new people playing the game for the first time. These console players, they've been watching, and I can read the comments online, and people are very eager to get their hands on it. Even with the status and with some of the bugs it's got, it's still a lot of fun, and I think the 1.0 release is really going to surprise a lot of people and really, really going to take this hunting game by storm. There's going to be a explosion, basically, of people that want to play this more realistic style, I think. And I know the Call of the Wild Great One grinding has just gotten completely exhausting and out of control. And there's the people that play it, and there's the people that don't want that. And I think this will be a good place to come and check it out. So y'all let me know down in the comments if y'all got any questions or anything I missed or want to address, and I'll respond to as best as I can. But yeah, y'all, thanks for watching, and we'll get back to posting some actual hunting videos. So see y'all next week.